I can still well remember getting off the plane at Mount Pleasant, as it's euphemistically called, and being driven down the MPA road in March in a Land Rover, and all the stone chips flying everywhere, and the rattle and the wind and the minefield signs. And in all honesty, you have to say at that point when you're sitting in the car, you do look at it and think, well, what the heck have I done? But that's day one. You've just had an 18-hour flight. What I like about the islands is I like the I like the fact that it's still a community. I like the fact that that people have close relationships. The type of social life that you have in a community like the Falklands is quite different from what you get in an English town or village. It's less about having material things to go and do, and it's more about spending time with people.
What kind of legacy do you think you're going to be leaving behind here?
Professionally, the work that we've been doing on revising the laws and having a project and a plan in place so that in a year or two's time we can have publicly available laws that people can go online and look at will be a major achievement. New consolidated criminal laws and publicly available laws of the Falklands. So if those two get delivered, then I'll look back at that and think, yes, that was a good job. The archery has to be up there in terms of a legacy. It gives me enormous pleasure to see that the archery club doing really well, and for people performing at a high standard and winning medals and all that kind of stuff. So I'd like to think that will carry on into the future, and in a couple of years' time I'll be able to go to Jersey and watch the Falklands go there and shoot and win more medals. So that'll be quite cool.
You had the Attorney General's conference not so long back, and that must have been a particularly proud moment for yourself.
Well, what I was really pleased with that one is actually getting it to the Falklands. That's what pleased me more than anything else, is because it had never been held in the Falklands before. It's usually held in one of the Caribbean overseas territories, so it took quite a lot of effort to get them to come down here, but when they did, they loved it. So to have not only all the Attorney Generals from all the overseas territories here, but also to have the Attorney General from England, Dominic Grieve QC, down here, who is a cabinet minister, to come down and stay on the islands for a week and see everything that goes on was just brilliant. What I'm most pleased about is the fact that we managed to host it. We got it down here. People came down here. They thoroughly enjoyed it. They loved the islands and went back full of praise and full of good feelings about the Falklands. So that was a good time.
The Attorney General's chambers, they've obviously received quite severe criticism from the senior magistrate before in court. And have you found that particularly demoralising?
Well, I don't see it in those terms. The judge has done an absolute correct job in highlighting areas of the Falklands Islands law which are deficient or need improving or aren't working terribly well. And it's not that we weren't aware of those, but having another voice bringing attention to those issues doesn't do any harm, and helps to win the case, to do something about it. So I think that his interventions have added momentum to making some of the changes that need to be made.
And you've been involved at quite a busy time as far as Falklands law is concerned, about being revised and law actually being implemented. I mean, how does it make you feel to have been part of that very large process?
Well, people have asked me before, and certainly when I was talking to my Peter Judge, who's my successor, and I was talking to him about the job, and being Attorney General is the best legal job in the world, and in a place like the Falklands, that the distance between making a decision and doing something and the impact on the community is so short. But it's very rewarding, because what you do has impact. What you do makes a difference. So and it's really good to see that. And there's not many places, there's not many jobs that you can do where that what you're doing is making a direct contribution to the well-being of the community.